rectify this. All right, what's up, everybody? Me and my cousin, we're gonna do a review on The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix. She's not gonna be on camera. I'm gonna be on camera.
Not yet. I'll be on camera with me.
Right, and we're gonna talk about it. Okay, the Perfect Neighbor. So, Perfect Neighbor is about a community and these kids playing in the yard and in a field in Ocala, Florida, and it's a dispute about where the kids can play. And one neighbor, she doesn't like the kids playing in the field. It's kind of close to her house, but it's a whole community of people who have kids. It's a mixed community with black, white. It's diverse. It's a diverse community. Okay, I lived in Ocala. I'm not too far from where that location where the incident occurred. If you have not seen it, I suggest you check it out. This is gonna spoil it for people who never seen it. So if you've never seen it, you might not want to watch this or listen to this. But we're gonna discuss this from different point of views, from my point of view and my cousin's point of view. My first impression about this was, I thought it was just gonna be something minor. I didn't think it was. I just thought it was gonna be some neighbors arguing and fussing and fighting about the neighborhood where kids can play. What was your first impression of this?
I agree. I think when you first told me about it, I thought when you think about stuff that happen with neighbors, hell, even I've had problems with my neighbor. You might have a few words and go about your business, but I didn't think that what occurred in the documentary would make a turn to somebody actually dying and then like kids having to see it, and it was very I think for anybody that have kids, and I think this would be a great documentary for you to watch, because you can see how much hatred a lot of people, it's not, I don't want to say racist, but I feel like with this, my thought on this was, it definitely took a turn, a curveball I wasn't expecting. However, it was eye-opening too, because a lot of times we look at, a different race and we're thinking, oh, they're being racist, but it's more than that. Sometimes it's just straight hatred, and it's honestly two sides to a story, because, granted, we want, as homeowners and stuff, you want to be able to be in your home at peace, and, you don't want to, some people just don't even want to deal with kids. Now, I definitely understand that, but it comes to a point where it's like, if, growing up, there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood, they're going to be playing. It's nothing, you can't run away from that. So it's kind of like you got to pick your pros and your cons. You just got to, either deal with it or move away from that type of community, because that community was, honestly, it was filled with kids. So I could definitely understand both sides, but I didn't understand the hatred.
Okay, the biggest surprise for me is how far things went.
Yeah, I didn't
I think
that.
it was like it went farther than I would expect it to. I was caught off guard about the
amount of times she called the police.
Yes, that and no, it's like they didn't do anything when the police. Yeah. I feel like it could have been, some of this could have been prevented if the police took action. Now, what, I don't know, without violating somebody's rights.
But what
before it got to that incident.
But what could the police do?
They probably, I don't know, they gave out some, somebody could have went to jail. So like in a domestic dispute, if somebody if the police come out, they have to take someone to jail in a domestic dispute. So they could have been like, okay, if we come out one more time, we talk, or they could have gave her some kind of ticket or some kind of thing for for like calling the police excessive or for a non-emergency type thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I know they got something like that. And another thing that caught me off guard was when she got arrested. It took so long for them to arrest her. Had that been
they arrested her, but then they had released her.
Well, no, they took her in, they detained her and took her
yeah.
in for questioning, and they didn't arrest her. So that and that was kind of weird. I was like, because if it would have been any other race, they would have been arrested a long time ago.
You ain't leaving until they get the final judgment.
Right.
So I agree. I definitely agree. I think also looking back at it, like it gives as a mom, and I think it makes you want to be able to teach your kids too, as far as like being safe outside, but also like don't go in other people's yard, like don't go in people's yard. And one thing I will say, it doesn't make it right, but I will say the kids, once they kind of caught on to what she was doing and how she was calling police and how their parents was kind of backing them, anytime she would do so, anytime like they would do something, I feel like they were antagonizing her to a point because they knew that like they had backup. So that's why I would say move like as a mom, I think, or parents, you definitely want to talk to your kids as far as being outside and just looking out for their surroundings. And if something does happen, of course you come to your parent, but just don't be outside doing stuff, antagonizing people and making things worse.
Okay, so we at a point where in the story where, all right, who stood out to you, and what did you think about their actions? So for me, I think the other white neighbor who had kids.
Oh yeah.
Stood out to me because she defended the black girl.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what happened, so we at the point where, okay, someone got shot. A black lady got shot. She went over to talk to the white neighbor, white lady that was complaining and calling the police. She's like, it was the final straw. She called the police every day. They had so much footage that they could do the whole documentary on just the police, body cam from the police. So at this point, it starts off, come on with kids trying to flag down the police. And someone's shot. And they don't even tell you that someone's shot. It's just, they're flagging down the police because something's going on. And we don't know what's going on. And during the documentary, it just starts showing unfolding of all the times the white neighbor lady called the police on the kids. But there's also another white lady who has kids, look like they might be mixed, and she's cool with the lady. She's the neighbor of the lady who got shot too. But her kids and the lady who got shot, I can't think of their name right now because I should have written the names down, but I didn't. But they play together, and they play in that field across from where the white lady got shot, where the white lady did the shooting. So one day, the black lady goes to the white lady's house with no kids. She's banging on the door because her son's tablet was supposedly taken by her, and she antagonized the kids, throw a skate at them that they left, and it was the day before something tried to hit them with an umbrella. Yeah. She chased them out from over there. So the mom was like, well, she didn't come talk to me this time, but every other day they have been talking, or the police. So the black lady goes over there to talk to her, but she did bam on her door kind of hard. But the white lady shot her gun through the door and ended up killing the black mom. But in her defense, her neighbor stood up for her during that time. She stood up for her, so that's what kind of stood out to me.
Yeah.
And the police, all of the police knew what was going on over there because they came out there every other day. But the main sheriff, when they took the white lady in for questioning, they didn't. It almost seemed as if they wasn't going to arrest her, but the outpour of the community kind of made them wish it. But they did have to get some evidence, and they did have to look at things. And at the end, they eventually did charge her with murder.
So listen, what stood out to me, I would say it'd be the kids. The kids, I keep going back to the kids because the kids play they are like really the source of this whole entire story about this woman getting killed, but it's the kids because, and I can't just name one, but it's like that whole community of kids because after, of course, kids are innocent, but once they figured out kind of how to get on this woman's nerves, I don't think it was done intentionally all the time, but I can see, because I was a kid before. Y'all know we've been kids before. I can definitely see oh, okay, well, we're going to go over there. Well, we're not going to mess with Miss Janet, but if she come outside, we might stick our tongue out at her or something like that. So I can definitely see, the kids being, antagonizing her, and it kind of, it's definitely heightening up the situation way more now. The disrespect she was saying, because you missed the part, cousin. The lady was she was disrespecting the kids. She was calling them names, cussing at them, chasing them and stuff like that. And that right there, that's a no-no. At that point, me as a mom, I'd probably be out there whooping her ass. Sorry, I would, but because you're not gonna chase my kid with you even throw no skate at my kid. You're not gonna that. It's just things that you don't do. Come to me as a parent, woman to woman, we can handle it. Now, as far as the woman getting shot through the door, the woman that shot her, I when looking at it now in the time frame and how everything played out, she claimed she was scared. She thought the lady was gonna kill her. But overall, that lady, girl, you probably was gonna get your ass whooped and that lady was gonna go about her business. But the fact that you took out a gun, you went and you had enough time to go get your gun, meaning you had enough time to think. So also, she called the police before she even got the gun. So all this stuff you got to think about. She called the police before she got the gun. She said that she couldn't wait on the police, but in that time frame, she really could have waited, and she could have waited till the police got there. And that lady was not going to bust her knock her door down. Let's be real. She's not statued like a man. We're women. We're not. We can't. A woman can bust a door down. Shoot. I don't know. We can put her in the WNBA or something.
So
wrestling.
Okay. So the emotional part. What moment hit me the hardest, or made me angry, sad, or frustrated? So for me, it's when the dad had to tell the kids
that their
mom was dead.
Yes.
First, the police told him, and they was not together. They were co-parenting. I think the dad had already moved on and been remarried and everything. But his wife did come, and his new wife did come and was support for all of them there. Mm-hmm. But just the police having to tell him, and he had to break the news to everybody, even to the girl's mother. It hit him hard, and then him having to get his composure and then tell all those kids, it's 3 or 4 of them, I think it was, had to tell them that their mother was dead. I was surprised that they got that on footage with the police being there at the scene, because it was probably 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I think she probably was dead on arrival at the hospital. But when they showed her, it looked like it was a superficial wound, she got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, it
didn't look that bad. So everybody was just thinking, well, okay, she's gonna be all right. She's probably going to the doctor, and she's gonna be all right. But the most emotional part was them having to tell having to tell his kids that their mother was dead.
Yeah.
And another emotional part, I think, was one of the boys felt as if it was his fault. If he never would have left his tablet over there in that field, he felt as if his mother still would be alive.
I was gonna say that too. That's what I was gonna mention.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to emotionally to carry as a child, because even you're gonna need counseling to deal with something like that, because no matter what no one says, deep down you always gonna feel as if it was your fault. You know, being a kid, because kids you don't know any better. And you tend to blame yourself, especially something like that happening.
Yeah, grief is already hard. Like, no matter who, like, if it's a loved one, it's already hard enough. Like, you don't have no time frame of healing, but to have, like, to be a young child and feeling guilty about your mom not being here, I personally think, other people, because I think he's going to be feeling that for honestly the rest of his life. Now, he may have different ways to cope with it, but I don't care what nobody said. That young man and them kids, they're gonna feel that for the rest of their life, because that was a moment that they experienced and they watched it. Like, he watched his mom go through that. So, and he was young. So listen, that's something I would definitely agree with. That was definitely that stuck out a lot. Yeah, especially with the kids. It stuck out.
Okay, the biggest issue for me, I think the biggest issue for me is twofold for me. One, I hate to quote the Bible, but the Bible says, treat thy neighbor like you would treat yourself. I think if it's a situation that I think the lady did have some emotional problems. I think she had some mental issues going on. She was very angry. She was very angry. And she was angry, but she was angry in a weird kind of way. She was angry almost for no reason. Those kids wasn't even that loud playing in that field. They got permission from the next door neighbor that really owned the field that they could play in it.
She was looking every day. She was looking for a reason. Every day. I'm talking about every day. She was looking for something to call the police and complain about.
So one of the things I think it was some mental illness involved in there. A little bit of race. If that would have been a black lady or a black man, I think the results would have been a lot different, and the police probably would have handled it a lot different if that would have been a black person constantly calling the police on some white kids or any kids in the neighborhood. Probably would have gave them one. Hey, look, man, you live in a residential neighborhood where the kids gonna play. They're gonna play, as long as they don't come on your property, mess with you. You starting to harass this whole neighborhood. So they would have probably had to put some type of charges on her if that would have been a black person or any person of color.
If her ass would have been in Georgia, she would have been arrested immediately.
And then another major issue is, I think it was her mental illness and the police response to the initial shooting. If they they should have had arrested her from the beginning, because the black lady did not have a weapon, and I'm not sure what the law is in Florida, but it stands your ground. I think you have to be in fear of your life with reason. Like you would have to have a weapon of some sort. And the black lady didn't have a weapon, and she knocked on her door. And then when she called the police said, the police are on the way, let us handle it. And she did not do that. She shot through the door, not even knowing if there was a kid standing behind that door with the mother. So that is one of the issues, two issues that I think what was issues for me.
I got one. What I didn't like was when she was in the interrogation room, and when the police were pretty much breaking her down, and it was time for her, to write an apology letter, and she acted like she didn't know what.
Well, they asked her too if she wanted.
Yeah,
to.
they had to ask her for one, and then once everything kind of unfolded, this woman acted like she could not get up out the chair. Like they was like, "Man, we would drag you out the chair." So I think at that point, her life, she knew her life was gonna change. A lot of times, she thought it was gonna be a self-defense case and she could walk off. But when they told her what the reality was finna happen, she did not want to get up out that chair. No, she was like, "Oh, something wrong." Oh, it's just like she was like her heart, like she just was trying to find anything that could get out the chair. And she was like, "I just can't do it. I just can't do it." And that right there, that let me know like I feel like she didn't want to take full responsibility for killing that woman. Because that was just for one, writing a note, and then she only wrote 2 sentences to the kids. And then on top of that, when they told her, when they was like, because I think that she thought that it was like, oh, just write a note and you're going to be released or whatever. But when they told her that, hey, we're going to have to take you in, I think that right there, her response to that showed me that she didn't have no accountability. She didn't want to take no accountability. She wanted to, I'm going to be real, she wanted to have white privilege at that point. Right. She wanted to get up and walk away.
I feel like when they was in the interrogation room and they finally was finna arrest her, and she was like, nah. They said, we need you to stand up and put your hands behind her back. She told them no. And she repeatedly told them no. And if that would have been a black person, they would have dragged her out of that chair.
What?
And put her in handcuffs. But she eventually did get up.
So I guess if you want to make it a race thing, I definitely feel like that.
Yeah, it was some white privilege in
that right there, it showed, I think that right there was a perfect example of white privilege, of her trying to think that she was going to get away with something. But no, they was on her ass. They was like, "Oh man, you got to go. We're taking you. Yeah. We can do it the easy way, or we can do it the rough way." Okay.
Now, what I liked about it was that they brought awareness to this. That Netflix did pick this up and bring awareness to. I'm sorry that we just did this off the fly. We can't remember the lady's name, but I'm on my B roll. I'm gonna show a picture of her and I'm gonna have her name on there. But they brought awareness of the situation and how they show her in the end. They had a beautiful picture of her and they made a documentary about it. That's what I like, and I like how her neighbors stood up for her after she passed. Her neighbors really stood up, especially the white lady. I'll get her name too.
I think and also not only the woman's kids, I think it also affected the other kids too in that neighborhood because you just growing up, as you get older, that's all you're gonna remember. It's like, dang, the woman, Miss such and such, she, she passed away because while we were outside playing. That's something. I think this whole experience was tragic for all the kids and even the parents. But definitely the kids, and I don't want to take away from the woman's kids, but also the other kids, like I said, that were playing with them because as the footage was going on and as they were telling the kids hey, Miss such and such has passed away, it affected her kids, but the other kids also. You can see it, the effect on them. They were very heartbroken. And
what did you like about it? What did you like about this?
I like the fact that her family came through for her. I like the support around that neighborhood. I love the kids were being kids. I love and I also love that her family, they fought, the community